Hey, welcome to Draw Tip Tuesday. My name is Koosje Koenen and I love to draw, and I'm really happy that you are here so we can draw together. And today I am not drawing, but I am showing you this small sketchbook. This is kind of a small size for me, and I will flip through the pages. I took it on vacation with me in December, and this is just part of my vacation that's in these pages. Okay, so I'm about to show you one of my sketchbooks from a trip I took, but before I do, I want to tell you that if you want to take a trip and you want to learn to fill your sketchbook full of life and include people, then maybe you want to join my in-person workshop, which will take place in April in Santa Fe. It's the only time this year and also for a while that I'll be teaching in the US, so grab your chance and come draw with me. Okay, on with the sketchbook tour. Along the way, I discovered that yes, a small sketchbook is super handy when you're on location, when you're on the move, when you want to limit all the tools that you have, you limit your materials, you don't want to schlep around a lot of materials. But I had a lot of time to draw because I was on vacation, and then the small pages just weren't quite doing it for me. I wanted more space, and that's what I discovered throughout this sketchbook. I loved the size. It was really handy, but some of the drawings I was like, oh, I wish I had more space. So I will flip through the drawings, which contain fantastic memories of a beautiful vacation that I'm still savoring the memories of. This sketchbook is filled in December 2023. This is a Hanemühle Nostalgie sketchbook, and the size is A6. And I start my sketchbook with my contact details. This one is still in the Netherlands. The first pages are. This one is on a train, and I smudged my pants with my foldable bike. Very nice. Here's a drawing of my husband. I love those feet on the gray paper. I prepared this page with collage first, and then I drew on top. And this one is also of my husband, but not so great. This is also collage first, and then I drew on top. This was a very quick drawing in front of the supermarket because I didn't have much time. So I thought, well, I'll just whip out my sketchbook right now before I go into the grocery shop. And I drew quickly what I saw there. These are espresso cups that I drew online on a Spark session at Sketchbook School. The same day I had another online session, a 90-minute session, which was with my patrons and anyone else who wanted to draw, the last mini workshop of the year. And this was one of the drawings that I did during the demos. Drawing on the couch, not a great drawing. I can really tell from this page that I'm super tired and sort of done. I'm ready to go on vacation. And here we are on our way to the airport on the train. This is on the plane. A long flight to Thailand. And then the first day in Thailand. We took a boat trip over the river there, and that was really fun because we could see a lot. And actually it also was really beautiful because it was sunset, and we didn't even realize, we didn't plan that out well. It was just a little bit of a present. And I made a quick drawing on the boat, drawing people while having breakfast, drawing the view through the window while drinking coffee. The tuk-tuks in Bangkok, they are so colorful, so I had to draw them. And I like the effect also here. I used Neocolor 1 wax crayons. They are water resistant. So I first drew the letters, even without knowing what it says. It's just Thai lettering. But I drew those letters with the wax crayons, and then I painted with watercolor on top. And because the wax resists the watercolor, that light yellow just really sort of pops. Drawing at lunch, doing some blobs of watercolor first, and then I started to draw on top of that. Drawing at dinner. Can you see a pattern here? Every time I sit down to eat, I also draw. Drawing while drinking coffee, This is when I also met another artist who was really excited to see me drawing, and that was a fun encounter. I try to limit myself, challenge myself. So here's the challenge and the limitation: to only use colored pencils, which is kind of fun, and also a limited palette of colored pencils. So I was looking at the greens, but also at the warm colors and the cool colors, and try to translate that into the few colors that I wanted to use from my colored pencils. This is kind of like a very flat kind of view to the other side of the street. There's not really a focal point in this drawing, so I'm not really fond of it, but I enjoyed it anyway because there was so much to draw. Here's a little nap, as you do when you're on vacation, and sipping from a coconut. That is also something you do when you're on vacation in Thailand. Again, here I used the Neocolor 1 crayons that are water resistant, and then on top I painted, and the wax resists the watercolor, so the colors really pop out, especially when you use gray, something darker, that really adds some contrast. This is a very bad drawing. I kind of hate this page, but I was also just laughing about it. And well, maybe it was just because of that really bad coffee that just tasted foul. So yeah, painting it was not a success either. Here we are traveling again on our way from Bangkok to Chiang Mai. And of course, when you are traveling, there's a lot of waiting, which is a great opportunity to draw and study people. On the plane, you have the opportunity to draw people as well. And then here, the first afternoon in Chiang Mai, I started my drawing while it was still light out, and then it started to become dark really quickly. So I sort of worked my way through a bright drawing and making it darker and darker as it was getting dark. Here, another limited kind of palette thing. Well, actually just a black and white drawing with an addition of red, because I asked for a stamp at the hotel when we arrived, and the lady behind the counter just stamped in the middle of the page. Great. So I drew over that, and then also the banner on my boarding pass was red. So then I decided to pick a red colored pencil to write a little something, and that makes it all sort of match. This is the first morning in Chiang Mai, sitting in the guest house where we were staying. Here I was eating khao soi while I was drawing, so I accidentally spattered some of the khao soi on my sketchbook, and then I just added some extra, as if it was deliberate all from the beginning. It's kind of gross because it's greasy, but I kind of like it too. This is a drawing that I started in a restaurant, and then I drew these people sitting in that restaurant, and also the cook on the left and the guy who was selling ice cream in the background. But the rest was done in a whole different location. I know that, but if I wouldn't have told you that, you wouldn't have known this. And it still would be a believable drawing of a believable place, but it's actually a Frankensteined place that doesn't exist. Drawing in a restaurant again. I started with this display of food and all these pots with all these nuts and dried goods and all kinds of other stuff. And then I also added people in the background, because what is a restaurant without guests? Here I used paper that is parts of the bill that we got from the laundry that we had done. And first I did this collage on this page, and then when we went to have some noodles, I drew people in the restaurant on top of the paper. And because it felt very confusing, I added a lot of crayon in the same color as the paper to make it more cohesive and to fill in the white gaps. Makes it all a little bit softer and more together. This is another one of those drawings that I really enjoyed drawing, but I don't really think it has a clear focal point. I mean, in Thailand, there is so much to see. There are so many colors, and I was so excited about that. And I definitely think I captured that. But where is the focal point in the drawing? What is my story? That's my question, and that is the learning that I take from this drawing. a quick drawing with limited color palettes at a food court, drawing on the market quickly because we had a cooking class and we had just like 10 minutes for ourselves to wander around at the marketplace. So I did a really quick one here, and I did some painting with green tea and Thai tea. Why not? In the morning I had put some stains on this page with coffee, and then we were at the night market where I started to draw the people and the surroundings. And I don't know if the addition of this gray for the background is that great. But I love how I have been playing in this sketchbook, trying things, and now knowing that maybe that it's a bit much if I already have coffee stains on the page to add a lot of gray or depth or texture. This is how you learn. Playing with limited color again. Oh, and this was a great perspective on the market. I was looking from above down at one of the stalls, and it was so busy and there was so much going on, and I had a lot of fun drawing all of this. Coffee, sitting on a bench, just looking around. We did a very steep hike up towards Doi Suthep, which is a beautiful temple in Chiang Mai. And I was so sweaty and hot and tired from the hike that I could hardly draw. But I'm so happy that I still attempted a drawing because it's such a great memory. And this is our last morning in Chiang Mai, where I'm drawing my husband while he has breakfast, and I'm using one of those fun rainbow pencils. I love the festive lights that they have hanging all over during Christmas and New Year's. So I drew a lot of those and also some of the plants to give, the texture of the place. It's quite a quick drawing, but I think with the rainbow pencil, you have a very quick, fun effect. And then we are on our way again because we are leaving Chiang Mai and we are off to our next stay. And on this last page of the sketchbook, the wash that is in here, I actually put that in here before leaving for the trip because I was just trying some of the greens from my color palette to make sure if I wanted 1, 2, or 3 greens to take with me. And in the end, I actually used that to draw the people on top. And that's it. There's more to come, but that's for next week. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this flip through. And next week I will show you the pages of another sketchbook that I filled during my vacation. So this small sketchbook was replaced with this one, which is quite larger, and I was really happy to change format and paper as well. There's a lot of challenges that were thrown at me and that I was happy to take on during a vacation. So that will be next week. And if you don't want to miss out on that sketchbook tour, make sure to subscribe to this channel. And if you click that bell button, then you will actually get a notification when I upload the next sketchbook tour, which will be next Tuesday. In the meantime, consider to join me on Patreon. I love what's going on in that community, and I really enjoy making content way more than the weekly content that I share here for my patrons. So you can check it out and see if it's for you. And if you need a drawing assignment this week, then I would say, based on this sketchbook, why don't you try and capture a memory? You can take just 5 or 10 minutes and already fill a page or part of a page. And maybe you have some kind of ephemera, part of a bill, or maybe a ticket stub of some sort, or maybe it's even like a paper that was wrapped around a chewing gum you ate, whatever. Maybe if you add that to the page, you sort of add to the story of your day. Have fun doing that, and I will see you next week. Bye!